Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world away, and I thought we'd do a marathon build session today, even though it's 30 degrees outside at 6:55 AM in the morning. How crazy is that? We're in for a crazy day today, I think. I'm going to be doing stages 31 to 38 of the Hachette Parkworks release, a build the Apocalyptic Ford Falcon XB. It's the Mad Max car. Now, I'm filming this on the 30th of June, as I said, at 6:55 in the morning. Now, next weekend, which is the 5th, I believe, of July 2024 at the Olympia in London, Mel Gibson is actually going to be there. And there is also got a whole Mad Max theme going on. And I do believe there's going to be a Ford Falcon there as well. So if you are in the UK and you want to get something signed on your Ford Falcon, or even have your picture taken with Mel Gibson, then obviously go along to the Olympia this weekend for London Film and Comic Con. I'm not affiliated at all with London Film and Comic Con, so I thought I'd just mention it anyway because Mel happens to be in the country. Anyway, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on the screen. Check your territory. I know this is available in Australia. It might be available in the US. I don't know. You need to check your territory. But without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so this is where we got to, just so you know. I'm just giving it a quick dust over because I haven't seen it for a while. That's why we're doing a marathon build. And it does also mean I'm going to be bundling some of these stages together because some of the times we're going to be doing a wheel again, and we've already done that, how many times now? 2 times, I think, something like that. But it looks like we are going to be putting another shock absorber into the car, just like this. So I think what I'm going to do is that with the leaf spring as well, just out of curiosity. No, I think we will keep this as a separate section. That's looking just like that. So here you go. Tiny pack, actually, for stage 31. And what I'm going to be doing first is taking the shock absorber, just putting this into its little housing bridge there, and then I have got a pin that I'm going to be putting this into place. So it's just a case of putting that in, putting the pin through, making sure the smooth side's going through first, getting me pliers here and just pushing that in all the way. So that's in like that. So I brought up the car here. I have taken the spare tyre out because as I'm turning this around, I don't want that to fall out. And basically this is going to be going into the position just here. Probably best on the top camera. So it's sitting in just like that. Now I've got a PSO 5 screw to hold that into place. Just holding it with my finger to stop it coming out. And I'm screwing it into this hole just here. Now this shock should be going over towards the right hand side of the chassis, just over here. But what I'm going to do now is take the other end of that, put that down there, like that there. And then that is going to go underneath this square mount that we've got there. Now we're going to be holding that in with a PSO 8 screw. It's a flange screw. Now we do get 2 flange screws in this pack, but one of them we don't use. One of them is a DS12. We actually use that later on, so you need to save that because this, putting it in here, is the last thing we're going to be doing in this stage. So that's in tight. As I said, that's all there is to do in that stage. We are left with the brake drums as well. So in stage 32, this is going to be a really quick stage because we've just got the right rear wheel arch here. We're just going to be putting, we're actually going to be putting one of the wheels on as well. So we're going to be putting the wheel on and putting the wheel arch on. So there is a little bit more to do in this stage. So let's get this wheel arch out first. This is the right side of the car here. Obviously we've just worked on the suspension there. And what I want to do is I want to take this part of the brake and put that on here, keyhole pattern, probably best on the top camera there. On top of that, I've got this side again, keyhole pattern, make sure that lines up. I want to take the wheel that we created there in issue 30. I thought this was the spare, it's not, it's actually going on the car. Again, a keyhole pattern to line that up. Put that on here, and then make sure it's fitting flush all the way down, which it is. Then use a DS12 screw. This is one of the flange screws we had left over from the last stage. Little bit of oil in here. and screw this nice and tight. Make sure there's no wobble. That's perfect. All that's left to do then is take the magnetic hub that we've got for this. It can go on the center and it sticks to the screw that we've got underneath, so now the hub's on. And then by putting that in, I'm now in a position to put this wheel arch in. And that's going to be going onto these 3 positions here. So just line up that back one first, just like that. It's held in with 3 DS02 screws. They came in this stage, so get this nice and tight. That's perfect. With that in place, that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 33, we've got a leaf spring to put on, bit of the suspension here, putting that into place. So at the end, that's how that's looking. Get that open here. I always try and have these screw bags pre-opened and this pin bag, because when your hands are tied up holding things together, it's hard to try and do that at the same time. Okay, bring the car back over, and as you see, we've already got 1 leaf spring in place there. The first thing I'm going to do, just like this side here, is I'm going to be putting the mount into this side here. Now we do have a locating lug to make sure it goes in the right way, so this is going to be going in this way, just like that. It's held in from the other side with a PS05 screw, so I'm just holding that with my finger. Get that screw in place. Then I'm putting the leaf spring in, making sure it's going in the same direction as this one here. So the smaller edges go towards the middle, the longer edges towards this edge over here. So this is going to be going over here. Put it into this gap here, and I'm going to be putting these pins in. So one's going in this side, make sure that's lined up, just like this. Once you've got it in, use the pliers just to keep that together like that. We're going to do the same with this one here. Now this actually goes on the hole there. You can probably see it on the top camera. So again, I just want to line this up into position. There we go. And then once again, hold that in with my pliers, just like that. So the leaf spring's in place. And then finally, just like before, I'm going to be putting this metal mounting plate on, which is going to go over the top just there. And I've got 2 of these DS06 screws to put into place. So it's all to do with the suspension at the moment. But that, in place, nice and springy, as you saw there, is the end of that stage. I actually forgot that I hadn't done a pack, you see. That's why I'm doing this marathon session today. Okay, we've got the wheel and a bit of the rim in this one here today. So we're going to be putting the inner rim, inner hub. I know everyone gets annoyed with me so much about me calling these wheels when I'm either working on the tyre or the inner rim or the hub and all of that. I don't know. It's just the bit that makes the car move or go round. Putting this together just like that. So in the next stage, I'm going to bundle this together with the next stage, which is stage 35. I'm guessing we're going to be putting the wheel on, which means I'm probably going to have to be boiling a kettle up, which I am. So I will have to get some boiling water and just put the wheel into place like that. So let's do these 2 stages together. So here we go. This is stage 34. Look at that. I've just opened this and I've just noticed that this bit has already come off of this. This is part of the what looks like lug nuts. So I am going to have to glue that into place. This is only plastic, this bit. So it's not very good. That's fallen off. But nothing a little bit of glue can't help, as you can see. Okay, put that to one side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking this section, putting it on this section. Now this top one's got a keyhole pattern in it. So that's going to match the one that's got a keyhole pattern. Actually, it's silver. The other 2 are black. So it's going to match the silver one. So that fits perfectly on there like that. Then I'm going to be taking this one here, which is going to go over the top. This one goes on like that there. Nice and flush. And I'm holding that in with some DS02 screws. So one there, one here, and just one this side here. Perfect. Then I'm going to take what we've just got here. I'm going to be pushing this through the holes. Hopefully it lines up. It does. So now that looks like that. Bring over the next stage because I need the wheel and the hub, and I'm off to boil a kettle. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
A few moments later.
Once again, if you've got a cutting mat material, make sure you put your hot water on a cloth, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. It's going to make this go really weird. Get your wheel, just drop that in there, and leave it for about a minute. It's quite a thick wheel. Now, obviously, the side that we want with the writing, as you can see on one of the wheels I've done here, is this side here. So when I put it in, I want to make sure I'm putting this into the side with the writing there. And you know what? It's so hot today. It's I wouldn't be surprised if I could just do this with the heat outside. Okay, so I want to make sure that way is that way round, so I'm going to be pushing it like this. Let's get this in. Don't be afraid to really go hard on it. Like this. It looks like I'm deforming the hell out of it, but trust me, it will go in, as you can see. Also, it might help to have a tool just like this, which you can get underneath here, and help just to lever this over the rim here, like this. Now this tool is available from Mike Lane. What this tool actually is used for is if you've got a screw which keeps turning and you can't get it out, basically you just put that under, wedge it up, and then it will let you pull it out, sort of thing, as you unscrew it. But it also works as sort of like a, what do they used to call these? Tire spoon, I think they used to call it. There we go. But that is in just like that. That's all there is to do in that stage. We do have the hub here to go in, so make sure we don't lose that as well. Before I start on this stage, it is worth mentioning when this tyre does cool down, the tyre is going to contract and go really tight again, and you won't be able to get that rim out again. So you want to make sure that everything's in place before you do leave it. But I'll put that to one side. We're going to look at stage 36, where it looks like we've got exactly how as we started this stage. So we're going to be putting the suspension into place. So I'm going to buddy this up with the next stage because this matches exactly what we did right at the start. We've got the wheel arch in, so we're going to be putting the wheel in and then putting the wheel arch on. So let's do these two stages together. Once again, I'll just make sure that these are open and ready to go. And I need this pin first, because the first thing we're going to be doing is taking the shock absorber, putting it on the mount, and then putting a pin in this side to hold this in. And then I'm using my pliers to hopefully push that into place like that. Bring up the car, and once again it's this side now that we're going to be on. So I'm going to be putting that shock just into there. I'm screwing it from the other side with a PS05 screw. So hold it with my finger, turn it over, and just get a screw in here. Perfect. Make sure that's going over towards the left there, because I'm going to be putting this shaft just down here into that section there. It is shaped actually, so it can only let you put it in one way. And I'm holding that into place, remember, with the smaller of the flange screws, which is a PS08 screw. Hard to do. You've got to kind of push up on the shock to actually keep that into place. But there we go, that's in place. And then turn it over, take the wheel that we've just created here, and once again I've got the brake disc here. That's going to go on that way like that, making sure the keyhole pattern matches where it is there all the way down. Do the same with the drum on top of it. Perfect. And then again in the wheel we've got that same indent, so I need to make sure it's that way round, and make sure when it's down it's fitting flush in there. And then using the bigger DS12 screw now, which is a flange screw, just to hold that into place. Perfect, nice and tight. Get the hub, put that in, and there we go. We've got two wheels now on the back of the car. And in the next stage, once again, we've got the wheel arch, which goes into position. Oh, get it the right way around, Wayne, like that. And that's held in with these DS02 screws. Just tightening these all up. There we go. Those in place. That's all there is to do in that stage. So we've basically done 2 packs together, and this is the last stage here where we've got all the electrics and the circuit board here. Looking just like that, we're going to be mounting the circuit board just in here like this. Are we putting the wires in? It looks like we are going to plug in all the wires to where they go and putting clips in to keep them into place. So what you'll find on all of these builds is that, let me just get this open without breaking any wires. All the wires are going to be numbered, and those numbers are going to correspond to numbers on the circuit board here. Let's go and have a look at that. As you can see. So let's get this in position. So bring the car up. I'm going to be putting the PCB circuit board, which looks just like this, into place. And this is basically going to go onto these 4 posts that you can see just here. So it's going to go here with the hole opening that section there. Now to hold that into place, I'm going to be putting the circuit board in first, which is going to go in this way, just like that. And I'm going to tighten all of that up with DS10 screws just into these 2 holes first. So one there, and one that side. But then in the back holes, because they're going into plastic, we're using a PS25 screws. So one here, and one here. Now all of these ports are numbered, but there is also a picture, as you can see in the instructions here, telling you what those numbers are if you can't see them, like my eyesight. Lucky for me, I've got these magnifying glasses. I'm going to plug all of these plugs into the board.
A few moments later.
And there you go, that's all the wires into place. Now, just like a ponytail, I want to gather them all up together. And they're going to be going down this centre shaft here. Now, to hold them into place, we've got these tabs, which are connected to some sprues. You don't really need sprue cutters, you can just twist them off. Push those tabs over the holes there, and then just keep going down here. Every time you see a point where we can put a tab in, you do want to try and get them to fit as flat as possible in there as well. Just push them over the posts, like that, all the way to the back of the car. Or should I say, the front of the car, because that's not the back, this is the front going out here. Now for this last one, you want to bundle them up so that they're not going to be over this screw hole here. There's a screw hole just there. But there you go. All in place. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in those 2 packs. I do have some of these tabs left over, so I am going to keep them safe. You never know when you might have to use them. But we've done quite a lot. We've done the whole back section now, all the suspension, and put the circuit board in as well. So looking very good. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link in the video description, also that QR code on the screen. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.